Homie, it's 2025 and you're still gaming on the PS4. I get it. You have your reasons, but I'm here to tell you that grabbing a PS5 can seriously upgrade the games that you already own without having to buy new ones. Faster load times, of course. DualSense integration, absolutely. And if your game's got an unlocked frame rate, the PlayStation 5 can make good use of that. Just a quick heads up, even if you're on a 1080p display, 4K games still look sharper and crisper. That's because downsampling from higher resolutions always results in a better looking image. Anyways, enough tech talk, let's get into the games. Nioh 2 is first up because I'm a sucker for Souls-likes. On the PS4, it ran at 30 FPS, around 50 on the PS4 Pro, but PS5 gives you 120 FPS in performance mode or 60 FPS at 4K. It's a game changer for Nioh 2's tight and unforgiving combat. The game being level-based is complemented by the faster load times for sure. You'll still die a lot though, but at least now it feels fair. Just a quick disclaimer, Nioh 1 needs the Nioh collection for the upgrade. Doom Eternal is peak demon blasting. While the first game was still a fast-paced shooter, it's nothing compared to Eternal's insane movement. That feels so much better on the PS5 running at 60 FPS in 4K. Or, if you really want to sweat, 120 FPS at about 1584p. It still looks insane and feels even better. There's also ray tracing at 60 FPS, which is impressive optimization. Fortnite's live service keeps it going strong, and with the PS5, not only do you get a solid 60 FPS with dynamic 4K, but you also get improved physics and better particle effects like smoke, fire, dust, etc. So battles feel crazy intense. Oh, and if you have a friend over, you can play the game at 60 FPS in split screen. It also has a 120 FPS mode at dynamic 1440p. God of War is one of my personal favorites, and this series' combat has evolved almost perfectly from past entries. The game ran well even on the PS4 at a solid 30 FPS, while the PS4 Pro's performance mode just kinda floated with 60 FPS. PS5 locks it in at 60 FPS with dynamic 4K. This visual upgrade and increased fidelity made the journey to Jotunheim absolutely epic. Playing it on the PS5 is absolute cinema. Being a massive and incredibly detailed open-world title on last gen was quite demanding, but Days Gone managed that pretty well. Where it really struggled was sadly in its coolest aspect, facing hordes of zombies where each horde had hundreds of zombies out for your blood. The PS5 smoothens this out with dynamic 4K and a locked 60 FPS. Hordes still feel intense, but your frame rate doesn't help them out anymore. If you have Cyberpunk 2077 on the PS4, chances are that you've noticed how ambitious this game was. Disastrous launch aside, CDPR sort of redeemed it, and you can see what this game is trying to do with its story and world, but only at a very compromised frame rate. On the PS5, however, performance mode gives you 60 FPS at dynamic 4K, and it feels fantastic in Night City. Prefer fancy shadows? There's ray tracing too, but it'll drop you to 30 FPS. Either way, you can finally immerse yourself in CD Projekt's ambitious living, breathing world. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is regarded as one of the best open-world RPGs ever made, with a well-written, engaging story as well as compelling characters. And yes, I loved Gwent. Anywho, CDPR has taken extra steps to make sure the game is kept up to date. This game's next-gen update brings 60 FPS at a dynamic resolution between 1440p up to 4K, or ray tracing at about 1440p and 30 FPS. PS4's 30 FPS wasn't terrible, but once you see the improvements, you won't believe this game is nearly a decade old. No Man's Sky is another extremely ambitious game that was held back by hardware. Over time, this game has turned into the pinnacle of space exploration with countless procedurally generated planets to explore. Unfortunately, it ran at 30 FPS on PS4. PS5 bumps it to 60 FPS at a dynamic resolution up to 1800p, with better draw distances and fewer pop-ins. Planetary landings feel seamless and exploring is as immersive as the developers intended. Resident Evil Village is one of the most gothic and, as a result, creepy atmospheres out of all RE games. This atmosphere is also largely a result of the audio design. The PS5 takes it up a notch significantly. Better resolution, smoother performance, and runs at a clean 60 FPS at 4K. With ray tracing, it's about 45 FPS. Plus, those occasional PS4 texture pop-ins, gone. The 3D audio improvements are absolutely killer, bro. And best of all, you don't need to worry about having to invest in new headphones as PS5's 3D Tempest audio is processed internally. Dying Light 2 thrives with the upgrade to PS5. Parkour is smoother at 60 FPS, and while it doesn't hit full 4K, balanced mode gives you 60 FPS at 1296p, which is then upscaled to 4K. Honestly, it's a sweet spot as this game's balanced mode is a great blend between performance and visuals. If you really want all the visual bells and whistles, you can enable ray tracing, but that will cap your frame rate to 30 FPS at 1080p. By the way, games that run at unlocked frame rates benefit largely from that upgrade to the PS5. I'm talking about games like Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, Monster Hunter World. Not now, my beloved. Unfortunately locked at 30 FPS. Still way faster loading times though. So I hope this list shows you how much you'll benefit from that PS5 upgrade. By the way, if you want a great deal on your PS5, check these links out. It'll be somewhere. Anyways, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'll see you guys next time.
PlayStation